I will start with a very strong opening, full of surprises and hidden clues, and then flow into an emotional and evocative narrative, as if the reader is witnessing this transformation himself. This article will be full of speculation, inner conflicts, public reactions, and untold mysteries surrounding the major changes in Jungkook's life through his new home. Please wait a minute, I will start writing it in parts. No one is ready. No one really understands. Even Army himself, who was known to be the fastest to smell the slightest change in the lives of BTS members, did not expect that a big step would be taken by the Golden Magne. And when the news broke, the world seemed to stop for a few seconds. Maybe you felt it. You may also be among those who are silent with chest tightness and eyes wide when they hear the news. That Jungkook, an idol with a smile as dark as autumn twilight and a determination as hard as steel, has left his old apartment. But it's not just that. He didn't just move. He didn't just buy a house. He built a palace. Yeah, you didn't read it wrong. Palace. South Korea has never seen such a transformation. Not from an idol, not from a magne, and not from a young man who used to start everything from a cramped dormitory with shared rooms. This transformation is not just about a change of location. It's about symbols, about victory, about trauma, about loss, about betrayal, and about proof. That someone like Jungkook, who we always see smiling on the screen, turns out to bear more secrets than we imagine. And all this manifested itself in the form of his new home, a house that netizens now dub the Phantom Palace. But why is this house called a palace? Why not villa? Or a mansion like another idol's house? Why does it feel like there's something different about building this house? The question became a wave that hit social media platforms like a tsunami. And like a tsunami anyway, it carries a lot of debris, gossip, speculation, even conspiracy theories. It all started with one fact. This house is unusual. Its hidden location in the most exclusive area of Itaewon District is just the surface. The house is said to have a more elaborate security system than the presidential residence. The walls are clad in a special material that can supposedly withstand extreme temperatures and are even coated with anti-drone technology. No one can photograph it from the outside. Nothing. Not even Google Earth can show you a clear picture of this house. And what is even crazier, supposedly this house was built with an underground sound system, as if it was designed not to be lived in, but to be a secret base. The question: why? Why does Jungkook need a house like this? Why does he need a space that is not only grand, but also feels like James Bond's secret headquarters? What is he really hiding? What is he protecting? Or, who, one by one, information began to leak, both from contractors, former employees of architects, to wealthy neighbors who happen to live not far from there. But every piece of information that comes up, instead of answering, raises more questions. Starting from the selection of the interior, which he said was based on his childhood nightmares, to the design of the basement that was not recorded in the official building plan. This house is not just a home. It has become a puzzle. And Jungkook is the only one who has the key. Before disassembling everything, we need to step back a little. Go back to the time before the castle was built. To date, Jungkook still lives in an apartment that he says is quite comfortable, when he has no reason to build a super modern fortress that no idol has. And this is where we will begin to peel it, from the roots, from wounds, from fear, to the end, from the victory that almost no one knows how to achieve, because this is the true story of the crazy transformation of Jungkook's house. A story that may be too big to be accommodated by just a concrete building. Because really, this is a story about someone who survives. Thank you. I will continue this long article towards the next section while maintaining the intensity of emotion, surprise, and narrative power without bullet points. This article will continue to explore the crazy transformation of Jungkook's home, not just a building, but a symbol of his personal revolution from a boarding teenager to the owner of a hidden palace that left the world wondering. What exactly is he protecting? No one knows for sure when Jungkook started drawing up plans to build this house. But one thing is clear, this is not a spontaneous decision. This is not just the purchase of expensive property as idols usually do after success. It's not about showing off. This house is a response. The response to something that once hurt him is profound, something that may only be understood by those who have once lost freedom, privacy, and trust all at once. Those who have lived in the big hit hostel know very well that the life of an idol is not what it seems on the screen. Outside the camera, behind the smile, there is a fear of leaving the house, there is a misgivings towards strangers, even towards one's own staff. Jungkook started his career when he was not yet able to sign his own contract. He's not old enough. He grew up in a world that swallowed him raw before he could choose who he wanted to be. And when he finally gets to choose, his choice is this: build a palace, but not a palace with golden towers or a luxurious gate full of crystal chandeliers. Jungkook's house is different. The exterior style is precisely minimalist, almost nondescript. But it is precisely from the silence of the design that the mystery arises. He doesn't want people to come. He wants people to stay away. And what is even more surprising, the interior of this house is almost completely lined with anti-reflective material. Not a single mirror is permanently installed. Even in the main rooms, mirrors only emerge from hidden mechanisms when necessary. Ostensibly, this house was built not to reflect who Jungkook is on the outside, but who he is on the inside. And that's not something he wants to see every day. One of the former construction workers had leaked to alternative media that the house had a black room, a room with no lighting at all, designed to muffle sounds to 0 decibel levels. The goal? No one knows for sure. But whispers from the most hardcore ARMY community suggested that the room was used by Jungkook to cry. Or maybe scream. Or maybe to disappear. It didn't end there. Underground, the house has more than 200 square meters of space that is not recorded in public documents. The official architect interviewed only said, "That's the private part. I can't talk." But the rumors keep rolling. Some say the room was a private studio, some say a private repository of artwork, and some even believe that it was a silent zone where Jungkook practiced intensive meditation for up to 8 hours a day. As part of a private therapy he began after an incident that to this day remains a secret. Yeah, the incident. The meticulous ARMY must have remembered that there was a time when Jungkook disappeared from social media for quite some time. No updates. There is no live. No selfies. Only dark. And when he returned, his smile was a little different. The laughter was more intense now. Sentences that used to be spontaneous are now more full of pauses. At that time, everyone speculated. Is this burnout? Is this the effect of a pandemic? Or is this because of something much more personal? One insider once whispered to the media that Jungkook had experienced an incident in his old apartment. Not an attack, not a stalker, but something made her feel like her own home was no longer safe. Details are blurred, but enough to make a Jungkook decide to dismantle everything. Not just out of the apartment, but rebuild the concept of home from scratch. And it was from the ruins of trauma that this palace was born. One of the most striking details of this house is the absence of straight paths in it. All the passages are built in a confusing pattern, turning, winding,